Oh my God. We've done it. I've titled the video Party Time, and it's time to party. Get it? Oh my God. I'm sweating. Like, I am literally a bucket of sweat. But yeah, maybe time to review that game, shall we? My favourite game of the season, without doubt. Leeds United have beaten Chelsea, our arch rivals, at Ellen Road, 3-1. Wow. Oh my God, I've probably just put my desk through. I don't even know what to say, people. I am... It was the five at the back all along. It was the five at the back all along. No, let's get into it seriously. But what a win that is for Leeds United. And I think, to be honest with you, we set the staple for how this game was going to go within the first 10 seconds. Within the first 10 seconds of the game. If anyone remembers it, the ball went down the line straight away and Bogle sprinted from the halfway line on about the first minute and pressed them and they kicked out for a throw-in. And that set the tempo for what Leeds United did tonight. That set the tempo for what Leeds United did tonight. It was fantastic from start to finish. We sat in at times when we needed to. We pressed when we needed to. We were physical. We were dominant. We did everything that this team needs to do to help us stay in this division. Yes, Chelsea on the ball at times can be much better than us, but it's not about that. It's about bringing the game to Leeds United and doing what we do best and playing a style that suits this Leeds United team. And when you do that, and when you play to a style, and when you go physical, we will bully teams. And that is what we did to Chelsea tonight. They were bullied. I think you'll see Chelsea reactions straight after this game saying they were bullied. I saw Gary Neville, who, by the way, the whole commentary was meant to be about Leeds versus Chelsea. You know, that was the commentary. It was about, oh, Chelsea, they could get back into it. Are they in a title race? Nothing really about Leeds United. But the point was, he said at the end, Leeds United bullied Chelsea. And he was absolutely right. They were bullied from start to finish. And you saw it on the 5th minute. Bullied on a set piece with Biol powering in at the near post with a bullet header. I have never seen someone head a ball harder in my life. Has anyone ever seen someone head a ball harder than that in their lives? I honestly, it was in before I could even think. What a header that was from Biol. But that summed up the performance. It was just fantastic. And one thing I want to collect back on is something I said after the Man City game. Because I felt after the Man City game that at half-time, Leeds United had two options at that moment in time. They could throw the towel in or they could go for it. They could go for it. And they could show fight. And one thing I said, and I said it on yesterday's show, and I think I've said it in a few shows now, this Leeds United team has fight. We are a fighting bunch. We're not, like I watch West Ham sometimes, and not to bring other clubs into it, but I watch other teams in this division who are fighting at the bottom of the league. They don't have this heart, this Leeds United team. This team, yes, all right at times, not amazing on the ball. Yes, they might frustrate you at times, but you can never, ever argue with the desire of this football club and the desire of this team. The desire is fantastic. And when I look at the season that we actually did get relegated, there was no desire there. There was no aggression. There was no fight. There's no way we'd have put on a show like that in the season we got relegated because we were nowhere near it. And we just didn't show any sort of hunger to win games. But tonight, the complete opposite. Bang up for it from a minute ago. And I said, if you go at them early on, this Chelsea team has got a weakness in it. It's got, they are fragile at times. And I think they showed on their behalf the fragility of their play, really, and of their players, because they did struggle to get to grips with the Leeds United team. But as I said, I almost feel vindicated because every single thing I've said, and I've backed this manager as well to the absolute hill, and I've been blasted for week on week on week, and maybe it won't work for Daniel Farke. And look, in the closing whistle, which we'll do at some point, we can talk about Leeds United and where this probably puts us. But that is a conversation for another day. But wow, what a performance. That is, as I said, best performance of the season. As I said, and I think Gary Neville, when he, again, summed it up quite well when he talked about who to give man of the match to. Because for me, there was 11 man of the matches on the pitch tonight, maybe outside of Perry, who I think probably should save the goal. Don't shoot me dead. I just think he should have done. But maybe outside of Perry, they were just fantastic. I thought the three centre-backs were brilliant. I don't think they've put a foot... Did they put a foot wrong all night, the three centre-backs? I don't think so. They worked well as a three. We've got to stick to that. Bogle, outstanding. We said the engine on our fullbacks is unbelievable. They can get back and forward, and they still offer a creative threat. Because when you're playing in that role in the wing-back system, that is, for me, that is when you're especially playing your 5-3-2 and you don't have wingers. That is the hardest position to play, arguably, on the pitch, because it's just so much running. You've got to get up to their fullback. You've got to get and be an attacking threat for the Leeds United team. And you've also got to defend and get back in the 5 as well. And it's such a hard thing to do. And the engine we saw tonight from Goodmanson and Bogle was just brilliant. It was so good and so nice to see. Because I feel like we knew we could do it. We knew this Leeds United team could do it. We knew we could do it. Ollie says, or should I say, Otto Talk says, where's the Farke haters now? Fark off. Yeah, but yeah, no, I thought they were brilliant. I thought the midfield as well. I need a massive shout out to one man, Ethan Ampadu, who got the credit, and he came up with man of the match. Obviously, I think that's what Gary Neville gave him to. But for me, man of the match potentially for me was Stack. I thought that was by far his best performance in a Leeds shirt by an absolute. It wasn't even close, by the way. I thought it was brilliant against Everton in the first game, but that Stack performance tonight is everything I want to see from Stack. Backwards and forwards, strong, using the physical presence that he has, but also providing that quality on the ball as well, which we saw for the first assist for the first goal. And he actually put a brilliant ball in the second half as well for Nemecha, who had a really good chance and probably should have scored and made it 3-0 earlier in the game as well. Sorry, I'm losing my voice because I've been shouting at the TV for 90 minutes. But honestly, as I said, summing it up, that was outstanding. That was outstanding. But this now has to be a blueprint. We've got to go into the Liverpool game now with this positivity and with this. And with what we saw tonight, and with the energy, and with this three at the back fundamentally, and with the way we play it through back, not trying to play this boring football through the middle of the park. I must admit as well, I think there's been this style over the last few years in football in general, not just at Leeds United, where it's all about being on the ball, passing it through the lines, like Chelsea did tonight. It's boring. I don't even enjoy watching it. Give me long ball all day. I slagged off long ball for the longest bit of time. Watching DCL and Nemecha have a fight with their two centre-halves was brilliant to watch. It was outstanding to watch. That is what you want to see, in my opinion, at Leeds United. That is what we want to see. Yes, we didn't have all the ball. Yes, we didn't have 70% of the possession. Don't care. No interest. What I liked about tonight is that we used our, as I said, we used our specialties. We gained everything we could out of having this physical team. DR Drum says Fairs Fark knew he had his job on the line and got himself out of it and got the job done. Yeah, he did. Fark has this weird thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Fark has this really weird thing of when he needs a result, he seems to somehow pull it out the bag. Like, he seems to do it, and fair play to him because he's pulled it out the bag. I mean, his job was over at Man City. It was over at Man City. And then he changed it at half-time, and that changed the momentum. And hopefully, that can be the turning point for the rest of the season. Yes, we're going to have people come out and go, oh, we're like the Jesse Marsh situation again. And potentially it might go that way. But you have to enjoy this moment because at the end of the day, we have played one of our biggest rivals. For me, Man United, our biggest game at home. Our second biggest game of the season is Chelsea at home. And we have played them tonight with them, let's be honest, on paper, a much better team than us. And we have beat them, and we have done it in the best way possible. I love these sort of wins. I absolutely love the sort of wins when you're the underdog in the game and you fight for everything and you battle for everything and you probably score from a set piece and you're really physical. These are what I like to see, and this is what I want to see going forward. Stop, please, Fark. If you listen to any of this reaction, which you definitely will not, please play this style. Please go long. Please keep Nemecha and DCL up front together because it's like it's an absolute throwback to the day. And it's as I said, this long ball about how it's boring, and I think John Dyche and people like that, people go, it's so boring. I don't think it is. I think it's really enjoyable to watch. But you've got to, it's not just about playing the style though, it's about what the physical output the players provide, and it's about executing the game plan in the best way possible. And as I said, it's all good playing a style, it's all good even Fark setting up his tactics in the way we all want, but the players have still got to execute a fantastic performance, and they did. And they deserve massive credit as well. Because by the way, I know people talk about, as I said, the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2, whatever you want to call this formation that we play. And it switches between, doesn't it, really, in game, based on where the fullbacks are. But one thing that I love about this, more than anything, more than I expected to love about this formation, is the two up front. That is the thing I absolutely love about this formation. It's DCL and Nemecha up front. It's brilliant to watch, and it's so, I just love it. I love everything about it. It's a throwback, but they're really physical, they get involved, and it just causes chaos. I don't think we see anymore. When's the last time Chelsea's centre-halves will have come up against two old-fashioned number 9s like Nemecha and DCL against them? When was the last time that would have happened? And yes, at times they're a bit scruffy on the ball and they make a few mistakes and they sometimes go offside, but the determination and the raw, just physical battle that they're willing to do and put through for this team, I just hope to God we can keep them two fit, because if we can keep them two fit and throw them up front and keep this going, I think it's going to cause so many defensive problems because they are just such a throwback, and it's such a different style of playing and such a different way of playing. And as I said, Gary Neville was almost in awe of watching them two up front. Not because, as I said, not because they were brilliant on the ball or because they did little fancy flicks or they did X, Y, and Z well, but because they were battling and they were winning the 50-50s against it, and they get the reward. They get the reward, and the reward for me was the third goal. The third goal summed up the tonight performance for Leeds United. Pressing from the front, aggressive, doing everything they can to win. Chelsea making a mistake, the ball goes back across, and Calvert-Lewin gets a tap in, and he deserved that for his performance tonight. He deserved a goal. They both did, Nemecha and Calvert-Lewin, and obviously Nemecha had the ball in the net as well, and obviously Calvert-Lewin was just offside without that being a goal. But I honestly think looking back at this, that Chelsea will not have any. I don't think they'll look at it and think they deserved anything more from the game. I thought they were soundly beaten by Leeds tonight, soundly beaten, because I actually look at the chances that we created. Nemecha has a huge chance. Yes, Parma has a good chance for them, and Neto scores a goal, but Nemecha had a huge chance. Obviously, we had that huge chance in the first half from Pascal Struijk as well. He had a great opportunity. I thought Tanaka, actually, before he scored that fantastic goal that he did, he had a number of opportunities as well to get the ball in the back of net. But fundamentally, as I said, all of them deserve huge credit, because it's yes, we've talked about this game plan. We've talked about going long. We've talked about this, but it's about the players executing the game plan. And Ellen Road, by the way, shout out to Ellen Road. It's just the best ground in the country, innit? When Ellen Road's rocking, there is genuinely no place like it. It's unbelievable. In fact, you could actually tell. You won't probably if you went to the game, you probably didn't notice this. Well, you definitely wouldn't have noticed it. But actually, on the TV, they genuinely had to turn the crowd sound down because it was overbearing on the commentators. It was that loud in Ellen Road tonight. As I said, there is sometimes you can say there's nothing like Ellen Road, and there is nothing like Ellen Road. It was just fantastic. But as I said, I can't do much longer, people, because my voice is about to go. Mari, I've completely butchered your name, mate. It says Farke, new 4-year contract incoming. But definitely not, mate. I actually think, if we're being totally honest, and as I said, we'll do a closing whistle where we talk all about this, but I actually think his job is probably still in a bit of jeopardy. Don't shoot the messenger, but I think potentially it is. But yeah, let's enjoy tonight, hey. And finally, I feel like we've got the bragging rights, because I feel like for everything we did well under Bielsa, and it was so much in that first year of the year, we finished 9th, we never actually beat one of the top teams at home. We didn't do that. Obviously, we beat Man City away in that first season, but we never beat one of the big teams at home. Whereas now, obviously, we beat Chelsea under Jesse Marsch, but now we've got another big scalp of Chelsea at home. And as I said, to be honest with you, in terms of a performance level, it was quite like that game, wasn't it, really? Like, in terms of Sanchez making a mistake, but obviously that game it was Mendy. He made a mistake, but yeah. I love losing money, mate. So do I. What a great name. Best name we've ever seen on this channel. I saw your short talk about Leeds winning, and I thought, no way. Mate, I as I said, I thought I was an idiot, to be honest. It was one of them things, mate. I just had a feeling that Leeds United would win tonight. I just sensed it. I saw Chelsea being so happy against Arsenal with the draw, and I thought they were fantastic in that game, to be fair to them. But I always feel like this Chelsea team sometimes they get closer and they get closer and they get closer, sort of being in a title race, and then they always blow up. Like they had it earlier in the season, they were getting closer and closer to lose to Sunderland, closer and closer to lose to Brighton, and that's what was happening. I felt like, and I felt they had a bad result coming. I really did feel it, and I thought if we could match their energy tonight, we could really cause an upset, it was right, wasn't it? I mean, as I said, look, they had to have an off day, we had to have a good day, but that's how it worked. B Quirky says this formation is cooking. Bring on Poole. They look a shadow themselves also. Yeah, I think the only negative I've got of it, and it's not really negative for that particular game, is we have put a lot into that performance tonight, because the load that takes on the midfielders to play a 3 midfield when they've got to get left and right to cover wide is honestly, it's so hard that. So to put another performance in against Liverpool at the weekend is going to be tricky for the boys. It really is, especially with that level of intensity. But as I said, we can talk about all this later at another time. But I think we've just got to soak in the win, people. We've got to soak in the win. Get on the beers. I know it's a Wednesday, sod it, and enjoy what was by far the best performance of the season. Anyway, thanks all for watching as always. And we'll see you. I'll try and get a closing whistle out at some point. Where I've got, to be honest, it's a busy day tomorrow, isn't it? With all sorts going on. But yeah, thanks all for watching as always, and I will see you all later. I know if you could drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drop a like for the best performance of the season, eh?